You've probably heard a lot of stories about billionaires. The tech founders, the crypto winners, the CEOs who went from garage to global domination. And maybe sometimes you think, wow, these guys are insanely rich. But here's the truth nobody tells you. Not a single one of them comes close to the wealth of one man. Not Elon Musk, not Jeff Bezos, not Rockefeller, not Bill Gates. In fact, if you combined all of their net worth, every dollar, every stock, every asset, you still wouldn't reach the level of wealth this man controlled. And yet, most people never even heard his name in school. His name is Mansa Musa, the king of Mali, the wealthiest person to ever walk the earth. Not just rich, but economy-shaking rich. Rich enough to affect the global gold market just by going on a trip. But how? How did he become that wealthy in a world without banks, without the stock market, without digital money? And more importantly, what can we learn from him today? This is his story. Before we get into the history, I want you to imagine something. Imagine living in a world where there's no internet, no financial system, no credit cards, no crypto, no modern banking. And yet, someone becomes so wealthy, so powerful, and so influential that the rest of the world has no choice but to put his face on their maps. That's Mansa Musa. He wasn't just a rich king. He was a walking economic event. But he didn't start that way, and he didn't inherit all of it. This is not a story about luck. It's a story about strategy, about vision, about building wealth from the ground up, then lifting an entire empire with it.
Mansa Musa became emperor of Mali in 1312. Back then, Mali was already a prosperous empire, but not famous, not respected globally, not recognized as one of the great civilizations. To the outside world, West Africa was just that region with gold. But inside the empire, there were thriving cities, scholars, trade routes, culture, and one of the biggest gold reserves on Earth. Mansa Musa looked at this and thought, if the world does not know Mali, then the world will never value Mali. And that became the beginning of a historical transformation. Here's the conflict most history books skip. Mali was wealthy, but invisible. And Mansa Musa knew something crucial. Wealth without recognition creates no power. Wealth without connection creates no influence. Wealth without reputation creates no opportunity. This is the same problem many people face today. You're skilled, but nobody notices. You're talented, but hidden. You work hard, but unseen. That was Mali before Mansa Musa. He understood that if Mali wanted to rise, it needed global relationships, global respect, global awareness. Basically, he needed to show the world that he existed. And oh, he did. Now, let's get to the big question. Why was Mali so rich? According to sources like World History Encyclopedia and Britannica, Mali controlled half of the world's gold supply. They owned major gold mines, Bambouk, Bouré, Galam. They dominated key trade routes across the Sahara. Remember, in the 1300s, gold wasn't just money. Gold was the global economy. If you controlled gold, you controlled value. Mansa Musa didn't merely have money, he had the source of money. just like Rockefeller controlled oil. Bezos controls logistics and cloud infrastructure. Tech giants control user data. Mansa Musa controlled gold, the foundation of medieval wealth. That's why historians say his wealth cannot be quantified in modern numbers. Because when you own the resource everyone wants, your wealth becomes limitless. This is the moment that made him famous. In 1324, Mansa Musa decided to go on a pilgrimage to Mecca. But he didn't travel quietly. He didn't go with a small group. No, he made an entrance that the world could never forget. Listen to this. He traveled with 60,000 men, 12,000 slaves, each carrying gold, camels loaded with hundreds of kilograms of gold, a caravan stretching miles long. It was the richest parade in human history. Everywhere he passed, Cairo, Medina, Jeddah, he gave away so much gold that he caused a 12-year inflation in the Egyptian economy. Yes, one man walking through a country tanked their economy because he was too generous. Imagine being so rich that you accidentally break a nation's financial stability. That's not rich, that's mythical. This Hajj was the moment that Mali exploded onto the world stage. People started talking. Maps began showing him sitting on a throne holding a golden orb. The unknown king from West Africa became the face of global wealth.
Storytelling, education, history. After the Hajj, something incredible happened. Mali was added to European maps. Traders from North Africa and the Middle East traveled to Mali. Scholars, architects, and intellectuals migrated to Timbuktu. The empire became a center of education and culture. Mali turned into the intellectual capital of Africa. All because one man decided to show the world what Mali truly was. That's branding. That's influence. That's economic power. This wasn't ego. It was strategy. Mansa Musa knew a reputation can open doors that gold cannot. And he was right. People often think Mansa Musa was rich because he had gold. But no. The truth is, his wealth came from the systems he built. Here are the actual wealth principles he used, still relevant today. Number 1, control the source, not the product. You don't want to be the store, you want to own the mine. Number 2, diversify your trade networks. He connected Mali to North Africa, the Middle East, the Islamic world, trans-Saharan routes. More routes equal more income. Number 3, build infrastructure. He invested in schools, mosques, universities, roads, cities. That's long-term wealth. Number 4, invest in people. He brought scholars, architects, and teachers into Mali. That's human capital. Number 5, build reputation. Reputation is currency. His Hajj was the biggest PR campaign in medieval history. Number 6, practice strategic generosity. He gave gold to win alliances and attract traders. Number 7, create stability. A stable kingdom attracts wealth. This is textbook modern economics. Here's the part most people don't expect. After Mansa Musa died, the empire slowly declined. Why? Because his successors weren't as capable. Internal conflicts grew. Trade routes shifted. External attacks weakened Mali. This is the painful truth. Wealth can be built by one person, but destroyed by those who come after. Wealth is not permanent. Wealth requires maintenance. Wealth requires discipline. Mansa Musa's story isn't just about money. It's about leadership, vision, strategy, intelligence, reputation, and long-term thinking. If there is one lesson from his story, it's this: wealth is not about how much gold you have. It's about what you build with that gold. Mansa Musa didn't just collect wealth. He built cities. He built education. He built culture. He built systems that lasted centuries. And in the end, that's why the world still remembers him. Not as the richest man ever, but as the man who used wealth to lift a nation.